Hello, good day. I am Norhadia A. Musa, and our topic for today is all about Lawrence Kohlberg's theory of moral development. Lawrence Kohlberg was an American physiologist best known for his theory of stages of moral development. He served as a professor in the psychology department at the University of Chicago and at the Graduate School of Education at Harvard University. Born on October 25, 1927 at Brocksville, New York, United States. He died on January 1987 at the age of 89. Withdraw. Education, the University of Chicago 1958, the University of Chicago 1948 to 1948. Nationality, American. Spouse, Lucille Siegbert, 1955-1987. Known for Lawrence Kohlberg's stages of moral development. What was Lawrence Kohlberg's theory about? Kohlberg's theory of moral development is a theory that focuses on how children develop morality and moral reasoning. Kohlberg's duties suggest that moral development occurs in a series of 6 stages and that moral logic are primarily focused on seeking and maintaining justice. Lawrence Kohlberg expanded on the earlier work of cognitivity theorist Jean Piaget to explain the moral development of children. Kohlberg believed that moral development, like cognitive development, follows a series of stages. He used the idea of moral dilemmas, stories that present conflicting ideas about two moral values to teach 10 to 16 years old boys above morality and values. The most known moral dilemma created by Kohlberg is the Hans dilemma, which discusses the idea of being the law versus saving a life. Kohlberg emphasized that it is the way individual reasons about a dilemma that determines positive moral development. Kohlberg's stages of moral development. Kohlberg identified their levels of moral reasoning, pre-conventional, conventional, and post-conventional. Each level is associated with increasingly complex stages of moral development. Level 1 of Kohlberg's development theory. Level 1 is pre-conventional. Throughout the pre-conventional level, a child's sense of morality is externally controlled. Children accept and believe the rules of authority figures, such as prevent and teach. A child with pre-conventional morality has not yet adopted or internalized society conventions, expanding what is right or wrong, but instead focuses largely on external consequences that certain action bring. Pre-conventional morality definition. Morality is extremely controlled. Children view rules as fixed and focus on the consequences of action rather than intention. Stage 1. Obedience and punishment orientation. Stage 1 focus on the child's desire to obey rules and avoid being punished. Or example, an action is perceived morally wrong because the perpetrator punished. The worse the punishment of the act is, the more bad the act is perceived to be. On the stage 1, focus avoidance of punishment. Example, an act is bad because it leads to punishment. Stage 2, instrumental orientation. Stage 2 expresses the what is in it for me. Position it to its right behavior is defined by whatever the individual believes to be in there. interested. Stage 2 reasoning shows a limited interest in the needs of others only to the point where it might further the individual's own interests. As a result, concern for others is not based on loyalty or instincts, respect, but rather you scratch my back and I'll scratch yours mentality. An example would be when a child is asked by his parents do a chore. The child asks, "What's in it for me?" And parents offer the child an incentive by giving him an allowance. On the stage 2 is focus on self-interest and rewards. Level 2 of moral development of KOHLBERG. Level 2, conventional. Throughout the conventional level, a child's sense of morality is tied to personal and societal relationship. Children continue to accept the roles of authority figures, but this is now due to their belief that this is necessary. Positive relationships and societal order. Adherence to rules and conventions is somewhat rigid during these stages, and rules appropriateness of fairness is seldom questioned. On level 2 definition, morality is based on maintaining personal relationship and societal order. Rules are followed to ensure harmony and adherence to societal expectation. Stage 3, good boy, nice girl orientation. In stage 3, children want the approval of others and act in a way to avoid disapproval. Emphasis is placed on a good behavior and people being nice to others. Stage 3 focus gaining approval and avoiding disapproval. Example, I want others to see me as a good person. Stage 4, law and order orientation. In stage 4, the child is blindly accept rules and conventions because of their importance in maintaining a functioning society. Rules are seen as being the same for everyone, and obeying rules by doing what one is supposed to do is seen as valuable and important. Moral reasoning in stage 4 is beyond the need for individual approval. Exhibit in stage 3 is if one person violated a law, perhaps everyone should. There is an obligation and duty to uphold law and rules. Most active members of the society remain at stage 4, where morality is still predominantly dictated by an outside force. In stage 4, focus on upholding laws and fulfilling societal duties. Example, rules must be followed to maintain order. Level 3, post-conventional. Throughout the post-conventional level, a person's sense of morality is defined in terms of more abstract principles and values. People now believe that some laws are unjust and should be changed or eliminated. This level is marked by a growing realization that individuals are separate entities from society and that individuals may disobey rules inconsistent with their own principles. Post-conventional moralities live by their own ethical principles that typically include such as basic human rights as life, liberty, and justice, and view rules as useful but changeable mechanisms rather than absolute dictates that must be obeyed without question, because post-conventional individuals elevate their own moral evaluation of situation over social conventions. Their behavior, especially stage 6, can sometimes to be confused with that of those at the pre-conventional level. Some theorists have speculated that many people may never reach this level at abstract moral reasoning. Level 3 Post-conventional morality definition. Morality is guided by abstract principle and the recognition of universal ethical values. Individual recognize the law and rules can be questioned and changed. Stage 5 is social contract orientation. In stage 5, the world is viewed as holding different opinions, rights, and values. Success perspectives should be mutually respected as unique to each person or community. Laws are regarded as social contracts rather than rigid edicts. Those that do not promote the general welfare should be changed when necessary to meet the greatest good for the greatest number of people. This is achieved throughout majority decision and inevitable compromise. Democratic government is theoretically based on stage 5 reasoning. Stage 5 Social Contract Orientation focus on law as flexible social agreement that should promote the greatest good. Example, laws are important but they can be changed if they harm society. At stage 6 Universal Ethical Principle Presentation Orientation. According to Kohlberg, this is the highest stage of functioning. However, he claimed that some individual will never reach this level. At this stage, the approval action is determined by one's self-chosen ethical principle of conscience. These principles are abstract and universal in application. This type of reasoning involves taking the perspective of every person or group that could potentially be affected by the decision. In stage 6, universal ethical principle orientation focus on following self-chosen ethical principles that are universal in nature. Example, justice and equality. And example, an unjust law should be disobeyed because it violates universal principle. This theory provides a framework for understanding how individuals' moral reasoning involves often applied in psychology, education, and ethics. Let me know. That's all for stages of moral development of Lawrence Kohlberg.
Basic tenets of Kohlberg's theory. The numerous studies investigating moral reasoning based on Kohlberg's theory have confirmed basic tenets regarding the topic area. Cross-sectional data have shows that older individuals tend to use higher states of moral reasoning when compared with younger individuals, while longitudinal studies report upward progression. In accordance with Kohlberg's theoretical order of stage in addition, studies has revealed that comprehension of the states is cumulative. If a person understands stage 3, he or she understands the lower stage but not necessarily the higher stage, and comprehension of the higher stage increasingly difficult. Moreover, age trends in moral development have received cross-cultural support. Lastly, data support the claim that every individual's progresses progresses through the same sequence of development. However, the rates of development will vary. Kohlberg has been criticized for his assertion that women seem to be deficient in their moral moral reasoning abilities when compared to men. Carol, Carol Gillies, 1982, a research assistant of Covers, criticized her former mentor's theory because it was based so narrowly on research using white, upper-class men and boys. She argued that women are not deficient in their moral reasoning and instead proposed that males and females reason differently. Girls and women focus more on studying, connected, and maintaining interpersonal relationships. Another criticism of Colbert's theory is that people frequently demonstrate significant inconsistency in their moral judgments. This often occurs in moral dilemmas involving drinking and driving or business, situations where participants have been shown to reason at a lower developmental stage, typically using more self-interest driving to reasoning. Stage 2, their authority and social order, obedience driving reasoning. Stage 4, critics argue that Colbert's theory cannot account for such inconsistencies. Lawrence Colbert's theory on moral development. Colbert advocates that an individual goes through three levels of moral development, which are as follows: pre-moral, pre-conventional, conventional, and post-conventional. During the first level of moral development, pre-moral, children are responsive to cultural rules and levels of good and bad. Right and wrong at the second level, conventional, the individual is concerned with maintaining the expectation of the family, groups, or nation and sees this as right at the third level, post-conventional, autonomous or principled. People make the effort to define valid values and principles without regards to outside authority or to the expectation of other. This theory on three walls believes that moral development involves respect for other humans and that relationships are based on mutual trust.